Hey, what's going on there, YouTube? This is SCL0320. I lost my protege. I don't know where. My partner in crime. This is SCL0320.
Joe Johnson.
030.
What's up over there, everybody? Sorry for my tardiness. Let's get into it. What do you say, Sam?
Why you have shades on?
Well, I got biggest headphones on.
Because I was listening to music.
I was outside looking at the sun.
It's nighttime. Anyway,
I don't know that.
YouTube, we're back for a brand new spoiler review for The Flash, y'all.
Yeah.
So, this is going to be a full spoiler review, so anything goes. This is the thing that I felt about this episode. I felt that everything up until the last 15 minutes of this was pointless. It was pointless. I felt that the CW network or whoever the heck is designing the gauge of how this season finale is going to build up, I felt like it was such a waste. In the sense for me, I felt that, okay, they had to find some kind of way of getting all these guys out of this containment unit, because I knew it wasn't going to last. I knew this was all building up to, like, everybody, like, going and facing Barry to emulate the rogues. Like, I mean, it wasn't just going to be, like, Captain Cole and, like, the guy with the fire or whatever. I knew that eventually everybody, it was going to come back to bite them in a sense, you know what I'm saying? But for them to go so cliche as to, like, set it up like that, it was just, like, I was like, man, I'm losing this episode. Like, I was losing so much interest in this episode at the point that only thing that I felt when it happened was when Barry and Joe were talking after the fact that Barry was not listening to anybody. He was so consumed with fear because he couldn't catch Wells in the beginning of the episode. Like, Wells, like, he outpaced him, outran him. He really found out that, I guess, the wheelchair that he had been in was holding a whole lot of energy. I guess Cisco said it accounted to being able to power the whole entire city just from that little cylinder. And so he'd been continuously getting faster. That's the reason why he was so fast in the Flash. But it was like, okay, what was Wells trying to do with the part accelerator? You know, like, he was restarting it up. And, like, I was like, okay, there's a punchline to this, there's a punchline to this. And then all of a sudden, like, Barry feels as though he needs to get the hand of Captain Cole to take the rogues and put them to the secluded island that Oliver had. I was like, man, what in the heck is this? And so I was like, okay, eventually it's all gonna come down to a fight, you know? And it was just, I thought it was fruitless, man. The only thing, like I said, that I really enjoyed was after they felt like they failed, and Barry really kind of felt like he really failed Joe and everybody else, and he kind of was real honest with them. He was like, look, I messed up, you know? But, like, I think what Joe kind of said is that you're not the Arrow. Like, you can't go and cut the corners and try to interrogate or force people to do something to play their hand. You're the essence of good. Like, you're that defining line between what's good and what's not. And, like, no matter what, I see that in you. I resonated with that scene. I thought that was a beautiful scene between Joe and Barry. And then all heck broke loose the last 10 minutes of the joint. And I mean, it might have been 5 minutes, because I was looking and I was like, wait, what? And so, I mean, for me, Joe, I don't know. Maybe you have another take on it. But up until the last 10 or 15 minutes, I was ready to give this episode like a 5 or a 6 out of 10 at best. But I thought it was interesting how they brought the different villains back. And I thought that was cool. And now they're all broken out. But I was like, this is a busted episode. There's so many more things they could have done. I would have preferred them to just keep it centralized on the stuff that happened with Barry, Iris, and what's going on with Eddie mentally. And because, I mean, even how it started up, it was like, it was Wells, like, talking in the beginning. He was narrating to, and he was really talking to Eddie, you know? And he was like, this is all about what I'm going to get back from what was taken from me. And none of that got revealed. Like, the particle accelerator, why did he go and start the whole particle accelerator? What happens at the point that it gets to that point? What is he supposed to be doing? Is he supposed to be able to have enough power to get back to, you know, I don't think that he would go with a confrontation with Barry knowing that he was doing that at the same time. There's more to the end game. So I think that there's more with that. But I was like, the whole first half to me was pointless. But what's your take on the first half? I said a lot.
I think
because I left out the best part. I left out the best part so we can discuss that.
Oh, you're talking about
the end.
Oh. Well, I thought about the first half of the episode. You know, I think it was. I don't think it was necessary. I really don't think it was necessary. And we was talking about this, and actually Sam mentioned this while I was watching the episode. He was like, at what point does Captain Cold, even with the plan that they made, he didn't contribute to the plan at all.
Why did they need him?
His bike.
Why did they really need him?
Dude was just on his bike, bro. Like that. All they needed was somebody to drive a truck. That's all they needed. Like, but that's a good point. That's a good point. But I was just like, yo, like I don't understand. Like I can see that happening. Like I know that like knew the plan was gonna go south. Mm-hmm. So yeah. So the first half of the episode, I was just like.
So it was kind of fluffy to you.
I think it was kind of fluffy. I think they could have went in different directions. Like when Cisco found that device in Wells' wheelchair, I thought they were going to use it to make Flash run faster some way. But they didn't. They used it as a power source, which I think that was a good idea. But initially, I thought that they were going to go into a different direction.
I think it was the preview. I think the preview that we saw from last week, it had me believing, okay, they about to go at it. Yeah. Like, they about to go at it against Thawne. Because I was like, Joe, this episode that, like, they about to throw down against Thawne. It did happen. And we're going to get to that part. We're going to talk about that part. Because that joint was serious. I'm not going to lie, that joint was serious. But before we get to that, I want to talk about something that really surprised me, Joe. The joint with Iris and Eddie really surprised me.
Oh yeah.
I said to Joe, because he had a conversation with Iris, and it was something along the lines of, and he shut up. what Barry and Iris were talking about, they were kind of interacting about Eddie. Like Iris was really worried about Eddie, and not that she was blaming Barry, but she was like just really upset, and she really missed him, and Barry could see that, and he's kind of feeling like he needs to kind of push her off because like it's evident that she really still cares, but yet there's an internal feeling that she has for him that she's not even allowing to come out, which is so weird. But I thought it was crazy because I said to Joe, I was like, you watch. She's going to, whenever they find Eddie, she's going to go back and she's going to see Eddie and she's going to want to be with Eddie because of the fact that she feels as though she owes that to him. You know, like it was like, I was thinking that she's going to be like, well, even though I might love Barry, like I'm devoted to this man. This man is gone. Like he's loved me this whole entire time. And so to prove something wrong, I was like, she's going to do this. Especially when she found the ring, I was like, yeah, she knew that came from Eddie. And then I couldn't believe that Eddie told her, like, look, this is a wrap. Like, you're going to marry Barry. You know what I'm saying? Like, he said that so bluntly that it took her off guard. She was like, I was like, yeah, she's gonna come back and be like, nah, nobody's the master of my fate. Like, I do this, I run this. Like, the future ain't gonna tell nothing to me, even though it makes logical sense. You know, it's logical in her heart. Like, she's gonna defy that because that's just kind of how her personality is. And so she came back, sure enough, and she was like, look, I don't care what the future is. You're my boo. You're my husband. You're my XYZ. And what he said was so key, and I liked it. He was like, I love you, but there's something that everybody's known. Barry knows, Joe knows, and even I know that you love this man. And I don't know if you can accept it or not, but love me enough to let this go. I was like, dang, I feel bad for Eddie. Like, officially, because I was like thinking that Eddie was kind of like, maybe he was like transferred back from like your boy Thawne or something. I thought there was like an internal plan there, but he really let her go. And I was like, wow, that's some deep jank. But what are your thoughts about that? Because I thought that was one of the good things about this episode, besides the end, which we're gonna get to.
Well, I want to point out something right here, Sam. So, kind of backtrack here, okay? So, with that, leading up to that point, you know, I was thinking, you know, Eddie's acting really weird. You know, he's been held captive for, I don't know, God knows how long. And this guy was like, yo, Iris. The first thing he said was like, guys, I just want to go home. I was like, what? I was like, you gotta go home and you got this crazy fast dude on the loose. I was like, bro, that's not your typical response.
True.
I be like, bro, y'all gonna keep a watch on me 24/7. I won't let y'all sleep. I ain't gonna let y'all sleep. Do not let me get kidnapped again. I was held captive and couldn't eat. You know what I'm saying? And this dude was like, yo, I wanna go home. I wouldn't want to be left alone after being kidnapped by a... Anyway, I backtrack, right? So, your boy Eeyore, right? So, even setting up to where they, where Barry has to rescue the prisoners, the way Eeyore like breaks, you know, his location of where he is, like or where Eddie's, where he's held Eddie captive, like the way he set the whole thing up, and he freed what's her name? What, that girl who could teleport? She got out.
You're right. Why did he kidnap Eddie to start with?
It was the way this episode was set up, how he did that. I was like, what is he planning right now? Because the way he has more control than this episode revealed.
Why did he kidnap Eddie at all?
Exactly. And then
what was the point of him
when the door opened, he just ran out and just dipped. You know what I'm saying? And it was just like, and knowing him from this point up until this point, everything he does is strategic.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That whole plot, it doesn't. There's no information on that at all.
So you're saying this is a huge Easter egg that they haven't unwrapped yet?
Yeah, I mean, because the reason why no one knows how she got out. She just got out. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh.
The girl who could teleport.
Yeah. And
I think Wells let her out.
I think
he had access to each and every person.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, you know, I think that was one of the letdowns of the episode, because when I seen that scene, I was like, oh my gosh.
Where is this going?
Yeah, like, you know, he's got some type of mastermind plot.
But maybe it's going to be brought up in the next episode.
That's what I'm thinking too, so that's what I hope.
So, to close this out.
Close it out.
We're going to talk about the last part of this joint.
Alright, my bad.
Yeah, we messed it up. But y'all, so Eeyore calls out Barry. Basically, Barry was looking at the screen and Eeyore was just kind of walking out, like without his costume or anything. He was like, Barry. I could tell that's what he said. Barry. And like Joe was like, Ninja, don't do it. Don't be about that, like this about to be a ninja moment.
Yeah, not me, Joe.
You know,
Joe in the episode.
Joe in the episode. And of course Barry goes out there because he ain't been listening to Joe this whole motherfucking episode.
Listen to me, man.
So he goes out there and Eeyore's like, you know, without a shadow of a doubt, you cannot win. He says a lot of different things, but like it was like I knew it was kind of coming to this point. But I was like, I'm looking at the clock. I'm like, it's like only 10 minutes left. I was like, what is gonna really happen in this amount of time? And so all of a sudden, Firestorm shows up, and I was like, okay, let's go. And then Oliver shows up, and I was like, that's my dog. And so, like, these dudes get bucked. You know, like, everybody's getting ready, Firestorm lights up, and then, like, Oliver goes like, and then it goes to a commercial. And I'm like, no, ain't nobody got time for that. I was like, what in the world? Now it's only 5 minutes left on the episode. Mm-hmm. And, I was thinking, okay, that's gonna be it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think a dude, Ari Davis, he was like, yeah, Eeyore's that boss, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Ari Davis. But all of a sudden, the episode comes back on, and they just start brawling. Like, Oliver, like, shoots at him, and, like, Firestorm goes and starts pushing fire at him. Before this even kind of happened, like, Eeyore just took his hand out like this. And you see his costume coming out, and I was like, "This is boss. This is how Flash is supposed to be." Dope. And he jumped into his costume, and then they just go at it. That's the climax of before the commercial came out. And then they start going into the fighting, and I was like, "This is crazy," because Eeyore used his one arm, not both arms, to push Firestorm all the way back, and he couldn't stop moving. Yeah. And then like Oliver was coming at him. And he kind of injected him in his leg. He's like, yeah, this is nanites. Like, you ain't gonna do nothing. This is me and you. We about to square off. One-on-one. You ain't got no speed. And so, like, I was looking. I was like, Eeyore getting bucked. They were starting throwing blows. But I was like, ain't no way he gonna beat Oliver. Oliver beat him down pretty bad. But I don't remember what happened, but Barry had to go and try to save Firestorm because he wasn't stopping, you know. And so he caught him, then he ran back to try to get to Oliver in time. And I felt like that was kind of like a Batman, Superman kind of moment, really. Like, I was like, that's something that Batman and Superman do, to tag team off like that. And Eobard started shaking his body to the point that the nanites started coming out of his body.
I was like,
and I was like,
white perk, like, no.
He's about to go down. And so, like, he had Oliver cornered down. Like, he choked him down. He's about to put his hand through his body, and then Barry caught him right in time. After that point, they started going head to head. And I was like, okay, this is a good fight. You know, like, it was like, finally, it's some common ground. And at the same time, like, Barry really has some help. And so, all of a sudden, like, they get to the top peak. And Barry's like, now. And Firestorm just goes out, pushes out. And, like, Eobard couldn't estimate it. And at the same time, Oliver injected, as soon as he fell down, Oliver injected something straight to his back. He didn't see it coming. He didn't see it coming. But the thing about this fight is, why did he engage them to start with? Why even take the risk? Why start the particle accelerator at all? He knew, even statistically, he's too smart for it, that engaging in this fight would deter him potentially. So did he do this as a ruse? Did they really stop him? Or what is his end game? And what does it have to do with Eddie? These are the questions that we can't answer. All we know is the last, there was no back sequence. Like, normally they kind of have like something after the credits. They didn't have that this time. They had a preview of next week where Barry is potentially going to start everything back from scratch by stopping his mother's death. But what I've told Joe, and me and him talked back and forth, is we never saw Eobard kill, like, Barry's mom. And in the beginning of the episode, like, Eobard had kind of said something along the lines that, like, you can be the person that creates your own fate. And I was like, is it possible that Barry is about to destroy this whole entire thing? Because basically, he was talking about he's going to get back everything that he lost. But I was thinking that it was kind of a two-handfold that, like, maybe Barry is going to be the cause of his own downfall with this whole entire thing. So, I don't know. But what's your take on the last part of the episode?
Bruh, like, alright.
So we're not
I was laughing, man, that was the final fight. Not because it was a bad fight, but, man, I was so happy to see Eobard get his tail whooped. Big ups to Oliver Queen. Beat the brakes off what he said. I didn't hear them nanites. It was like, was good, cuz.
Holla at your boy.
He was like, I'm gonna beat the brakes off you. And sure enough, man, Oliver put them hands off Eobard. Eobard got his tail whooped. And then after he fell out that roof, Oliver was like, go to sleep. With that dart, it's like, go to sleep. Eobard was just laying on concrete, his face to the ground.
But it just don't add up, bro. Like, why would he engage them? Like, why? It doesn't make sense to me. Maybe it makes sense to y'all. We want y'all's thoughts, y'all's comments. Please leave it in the comment section below. Hopefully y'all enjoyed our spoiler talk about it. Because of the last part of the episode, like I said, I was gonna give it like a 5 or a 6. Because of the last part of this episode, it saved it for me. So I give it a 8.2. I can't give it an 8.5 because that was stupid. This whole first part was stupid to me. But I do give it, it still stays in the 8s. It's never gone below like an 8 for me, this whole entire series. So that's really awesome. And it's only one more episode left in the season finale. What do you give it as far as score?
Bro, I give it a 9. One reason only.
Because Cisco got played?
Nope. Because the scene with Iris and Eddie. The scene with Iris and Eddie.
Man, that's because you want her with Barry. You shipping them.
I do.
You shipping them.
I put that on camera. I do.
He's a shipper.
But the guy, I don't know his name, but the gentleman who plays Eddie, that scene was so well acted. Like, I don't know if you guys noticed, but he did a thing with his eyebrows where, like, he sold me. I was like, he is in the moment.
Yeah, you can tell that there was a lot of hurt, pain, and anguish, but he was being really serious about the whole entire thing.
Eyebrow, he did this thing with his eyebrow, and it's like, I don't even know how to control that one muscle up here.
Anyway,
he controlled that muscle and it was like, not both sides of eyebrows, just that one. And I was just like,
ending.
this dude can act. And I was just like, I am sold. Best performance of this season. Hats off to you.
Nah, seriously though. Thanks everybody for watching. We're gone. Hopefully y'all enjoyed the spoiler-filled review of the Randy Flash episode.
I'll let you boys.
Season finale is next week, y'all. Be ready.
Turn up.
Let's go.
Hello?